I tell you one reason they're interested. It's by far the most valuable, important place left in the world for science. That's why the scientific groups all over the nation are really interested.
I hear the drums echoing tonight. She hears only whispers of some quiet conversation. She's coming in 12:30 flight. The moonlit winds reflect the stars that guide me toward salvation. I stopped an old man along the way, hoping to find some old forgotten words or ancient melody. He turned to me as if to say, "Hurry, boy, it's waiting there for you. It's gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that a hundred men or more could ever do. I've blessed the rains down in Africa. It's gonna take some time to do the things we never had." The wild dogs cry out in the night as they grow restless, longing for some solitary company. I know that I must do what's right, sure as Kilimanjaro rises like Olympus above the Serengeti. I seek to cure what's deep inside, frightened of this thing that I've become. It's gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that a hundred men or more could ever do. I've blessed the rains down in Africa. It's gonna take some time to do the things we never had. Hurry, boy, she's waiting there for you. It's gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that a hundred men or more could ever do. I've blessed the rains down in Africa. I've blessed the rains down in Africa. I've blessed the rains down in Africa. Bless the rains down in Africa. It's gonna take some time to do the things we never had.
Of the Earth that none of us has ever seen. It's flat as a board, of course. Anybody who denies that there's something wrong with them. Rueful fact. Many wheat polluted under polluted skies, but they all rise in the east, they all set in the west. And then in the daytime they do something else. They somehow do. this is the geocentric. Can draw this conclusion, but I think it's clear because think about it. Not only that, what other animal? Moon, son of the moon, what other animals? The moon. Whereas the moon, but absolutely straightforward observational facts that every person can verify for him or herself. We also are vulnerable to this siren song, which we can call chauvinism or geocentrism or anthropocentrism. What other animal? So, knew that this was dangerous stuff. This book is for mathematicians. If you're not a mathematician, close the book. The Bible says the earth is at the center. We all believe that. And then, as you know, Galileo of Copernicus, what other animal? But the stage had been set. I think there's a lot of evidence that we are all geocentrists about our language. Sunrise. I was up before sunrise. Sunset. It was a gorgeous sunset. But the sun isn't rising or setting. The earth is turning. Occult the sun. Billy's gone before you're halfway through. Americans do not know the Copernican perspective gets a lot of press in the United States. I mean, there is NASA. We do. There are. We do here. Do here. And in China, you can see where there isn't a NASA and where the television programs are much less sophisticated. Still think in their heart of hearts that the earth is as flat as a board, of course. And we're obviously not moving. It's an observed fact.
Is the earth flat?
NASA doesn't give us any time to take pictures. They just assume that to avoid it. And I took, when I should have been sleeping, I took about 45,000 pictures over half a year up there to take pictures of it. It's just flat and gorgeous.
And it's still tripping me out. I mean, I'm tripping balls here.
Fight back.
Nothing to fear.
Oh, the North Pole and the South Pole and the South Pole, Pole and the South Pole, the North Pole and the South Pole.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake,
and that
honestly.
is a universal fact. A lie is a lie, and it don't matter how many dumb sheep will believe it. And the truth is the truth. Hiding right out in plain sight and still people don't see it. Man, this shit got me heated. And I won't stop till the elite are being defeated. They keep us deceived about everything that we think and they keep it a secret. What we're taught is not conducive with reality. Big bang, evolution, and there's gravity. I tell the truth and then these motherfuckers laugh at me, telling me the earth is photoshopped because it has to be. Most people accept the deception happily, but what they're doing to us all is a tragedy. God created the heavens and the earth in a verse, but we're living in a Minnesota galaxy.
Where's the curvature? Where?
They tell us that we can't see it because we're all too small. And now we're spinning on a cartoon ball. Space was your imagination. Fake aliens are coming, now they have you waiting. We need to do something about it. No procrastination, trying to cause the masses to awaken. That's the path I'm taking. But you can see if you check all the percentages. So many people having cognitive dissonance. But that's what happens at the loss of your innocence. Then you get involved with all of this wickedness. Stuck in the material domain of Satan, where everything in each and every day is pagan. Mandela effect, cause the game is changing. People waking up and now the cage is shaking.
The good thing about science is that it's true whether or not you believe in it.
The earth is flat, and that is a universal fact.
Where's the curvature? Where?
They tell us that we can't see it because we're all too small. And now we're spinning on a cartoon ball. Horizon means horizontal. Indoctrination is awful because you're taught the globe model. Ever since y'all we follow rapists and murderers, liars, thieves, and sun worshippers, saying we can't see curvature cause we're all too small. And though it's never been proven, they say we're ripping and shooting. The earth is spinning and moving. Oh no, no, not at all. It's a criminal enterprise where deception intensifies. NASA's got us all living life on a cartoon ball.
Where's the curvature? Where?
They tell us that we can't see it because we're all too small. And now we're spinning on a cartoon ball.
There are a group of people that absolutely and honestly believe that the earth is flat.
My society photographer got hit in the head by a polo ball. You're all I got. Big party for an American hero. My son, the astronaut. You're all I got. Big party for an American hero. My son, the astronaut.
With hundreds of millions of dollars a day coming and going through international shell companies. And on their deathbed, the drifter will believe, oh, the tax code that applies to the Waffle House waitress equally to Warren Buffett is just something that Congress hasn't gotten around to fixing yet. Other drifters don't see any problem at all.
Curvature.
Thermonuclear weapons over the poles.
And you can tell it's real because it looks so fake.
will be a complicated rendezvous with a space station that is moving 17,000 miles an hour.
Around the Earth at 17,000 miles an hour. It's going more than 25 times faster than that.
Honestly. We'd have way better CGI. It was fake. You can tell it's real because it looks so fake.
Right. And then you got 1/10 of an inch of aluminum.
Right.
And then there's some
That's important because that's your pressure layer.
That's your pressure layer. That's what keeps you alive.
Yeah, that's
and then they've machined this waffle pattern in. So you have little ridges that are left. It almost looks like a waffle. I guess that's why they call it the waffle pattern, right? And that adds
it's like
extra.
A Waffle House to space station.
Yeah.
It's the Waffle House.
O-ring. This time you're going to get stuck. 33. 33!
Wait a minute. Don't choke those dice. Leave some air in there. Let them breathe. Let them breathe.
11!
11. That's a natural.
11 don't count. You get another chance.
That's 3 bananas.
This is 3 bananas?
Yeah.
It's not okay to think that the Earth is flat.
It's not okay
to think that the Earth is flat. This is not a viable argument. I actually said this to somebody, and I couldn't believe they'd never thought of it. That, you know, with binoculars you can see planets. You can see Saturn and Jupiter. You can see Mars with a telescope, the sun, the moon. Everything else you see in the solar system is a sphere. Everything else you see in the solar system is a sphere. Everything else you see in the solar system is a sphere. So we're the one thing that is different.
So we're the one thing that is different. You know, and that actually made somebody who was more interested in actually hearing information, that actually got them to think. They're like, you're right.
You know, everything else we take a picture of is a sphere.
For ourselves and for future generations, a new world order.
A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order. An order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order.
Where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind, peace and security, freedom, and the rule of law. Such is a world worthy of our struggle and worthy of our children's future.
You can see a new world coming into view. A world in which there is the very real prospect of a new world order. In the words of Winston Churchill, a world order in which the principles
of justice and fair play protect the weak against the strong. A world where the United Nations, freed from Cold War stalemate, is poised to fulfill the historic vision of its founders.
Because the global order is changing again. And the institutions and rules that worked so well in the post-World War II era for decades, they need to be strengthened.
The way we're going to win over the long term is not just militarily. We've got to win over hearts and minds. And what that means is we've got to invest in countries that have no educational infrastructure and have no means for young people to get ahead. We've got to give them a stake in creating the kind of world order that I think all of us would like to see.
There's a need for a new world order, but it has different characteristics in different parts of the world.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order. Actually, create a new world order.
There's a need for a new world order. America, in this period, when really a new world order can be created, it's a great opportunity.
Dedication within our government and a new
world order. To a great national crusade to make America great again. National crusade to make America great again.
They didn't say anything to me about it. We had nothing, zero, to do with it. Because not eat lunch in a restaurant open to the public.
I am the tax man. Tax man. Tax man.
China, 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 China. You know,
dance and I dance, dance, dance. Cat, I'm a kitty cat. And I dance, 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 and I dance, dance, dance.
For everyone, and I mean everyone.
to get along with the people, and it's
to the sheet neutralizes the charges in our laundry softener.
The lubricating substance sort of coats, for lack of a better way to put it, the fibers so that they don't rub against each other.
You can feel the substance. What does this melt in the heat?
It actually just rubs on. So when the clothes toss, this just tosses in with them and it tosses onto the clothes like butter on your popcorn.
One other little secret he told me, one I actually already knew. You use little dryer sheets on your hair in the wintertime if you have some static problems like I do.
Oh, really?
Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah,
Does
and then your
Patrick
hair
have a
smells like
blog?
clean breeze.
Or his own show?
Mm-hmm.
I like Patrick's idea about the aluminum ball. Who knew?
Yeah. Does he have his own show or blog, Heather?
He should, though, shouldn't he?
For sure.
A lot of
No, I
information.
know he doesn't, but I told him he should start a blog and a show.
Yeah.
And he said people come to him all the time with their laundry questions, and he loves talking about it.
Well, I'm glad you found him.
He was great.
Yeah. Yes, he was. Thank you.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. 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 It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
This is correct. This is the name of their channel. It's
Won't you grant us our liberty? We want our freedom. Give us our freedom.
Reason to question it. Believers don't think. Because they believe. Man, oh man. Once you don't believe shit anymore, you really start thinking a lot.
Blue Marble 2.0. NASA's Rob Simon made this. And it had wide appeal too. For example, it ended up as the default background on the iPhone.
I didn't even know until I bought an iPhone and turned it on and kind of did a little happy dance.
Simon's job is...
It's primarily taking data and making pictures out of it.
That's what this is. A composite of data sets from several different instruments translated into a picture.
Huh. How about just picture with a camera? You ever thought of that?
To us, the really cool thing was the data set. Up until that point, there was no realistic color map of the globe anywhere.
So the land layer here comes from
the Moderate Resolution Imaging Spectroradiometer aboard Terra.
And the tricky part here was the weather.
So we actually had to take clouds out.
They stashed the clouds for later, went onto the ocean. That came from an instrument that measures phytoplankton in the sea.
Where it was low, I colored it dark blue because they're low mostly in mid-oceans. And then where it was a little bit higher, it was like a little bit brighter green.
Then add the clouds back in.
There's a small problem with it because there's a very slight gap in between each orbit.
So some of those are painted on.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
Then
there was another layer to sort of simulate the atmosphere.
And then there's this little bright spot.
It's called the specular highlight. So it's the reflection of sunlight off of water.
Those are the pieces, but you can't just slap them all together.
It just didn't look realistic. It looks kind of flat, or the clouds are sort of too see-through. So I just hit Command Z a lot.
There's artistry to creating the world.
What I imagine it to be. Unfortunately, I'm not an astronaut. I've never been to space.
Yeah, they're fucking liars. All they do is...
Once you go flat, there's no going back. The plan of attack is stick to the facts. I'm forcing the fall when we give up the fall and prove that the earth isn't moving at all. So it's time to commit, put an end to the shit. Draw lines in the sand, take sides of the dam of the minds that begin. Show lines from the. Once you go flat, there's no going back. The plan of attack is stick to the facts. I'm forcing the fall when we give up the fall. Man, realize that the plan.
I understand you flew here from Sacramento, so were you able to confirm that the Earth is flat on that airplane?
It did look flat out in my.
Its laboratories in Washington.
You've often heard it said that
the world was flat.
Facts, the truth.
Sorry.
My message to unvaccinated Americans is this. What more is there to wait for?
Science has far outdistanced man's political and social development. But because of the mystery that surrounds science, one has a feeling that tremendous developments are in the offing which might catch us unaware.
Pressure, composition of the atmosphere, to study cosmic rays, to study the ionosphere, all the things that interest scientists.
It would stay there and travel around the Earth as one of our satellites?
Well, any satellite would be almost entirely under the influence of the Earth, and the pulls of the other planets would be so minute that they wouldn't matter. The pull of the moon would probably be more important. A smaller rocket, the middle rocket, to a high altitude, and then this one takes over, and finally the third or last rocket would have enough speed to climb into an orbit and stay there, to protect them against cosmic rays and radiation, to protect them against weightlessness, altitude, and to send back information to the ground by radio.
A program like the one we employ to build the atom bomb in order to build a rocket that would go to the moon?
As much as many of us would like to see such a program, if we do any wishful thinking, I think we should take a more gradual approach. I think we should concentrate on instrumented rockets, on learning more about the problems before we attempt any big program for, say, the exploration of the moon.
Mr. Rosen, the fact that you are a space expert leads me to a question I think I have time for. That's a question about Friday.
I haven't seen Elizabeth lately.
What do you think of him now? If you formed an opinion of him from the way he acts, just remember that people form opinions of you from the way you act. There are lots of times at school and at home when people have different ideas about things. Sometimes it's about who make a report, or who is the greatest baseball player that ever lived.
That prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that the Earth is flat.
He feels that you are a reasonable person, trying to get a good answer to your differences.
That prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that the Earth is flat.
In class, Polly doesn't hesitate to interrupt the teacher or another student when something comes to her mind.
Is the Earth flat?
Even at home, she is so eager to tell Dad what happened on the way to school this morning.
That's a crazier conspiracy than flat Earth. That everything's going to shut down.
Right place. What you do not say may also be an act of courtesy.
That prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that the Earth is flat.
You feel. If Polly starts being more courteous, the word will get around.
These other flat earthers will.
You're in a conspiracy. We're in the biggest conspiracy theory ever. Because a year ago, if I would have told anybody
That prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that the earth is flat.
This boy and girl coming home from school look quite content with life.
see the curvature of the earth.
You just don't. That stuff is flat.
As society in the
time of the day to spring unpleasant surprises on Dad.
We use social courtesy. Social what? Social courtesy, Bill.
Fun at parties got to do with social courtesy. I don't have to be courteous just to check with you. Hey, say, wait a minute. Is this social courtesy what I've been doing?
It's part of social courtesy.
That stuff is flat.
Now let's see you try some more social courtesy.
So much to learn how to do.
Sure, there's a lot to learn, but it's worth it. And learning is easy. One way is by watching others.
Earth. Well, these are the verses that he used, so.
Be thoughtful. What do you think of social courtesy now?
I guess it makes being with people a lot more enjoyable for me.
Or flat. That's only in the panhandle you can get away with that statement.
Difference, didn't they?
Yes, social courtesy does make a difference, Rory.
Shaq, what are you talking about?
The earth is flat.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Thanks.
The name of the channel is Flat Stuff Earth.
Oh, escape from space prison. Oh, scary place. Well, Rick.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to.
Is it round or flat? Don't ask a brat. Results from a new study reveal a third of young American millennials aren't sure that the Earth is round.
National poll found that 18 to 24-year-olds are the largest group in the country who believe the Earth could be flat. It seems the older you get, the more you believe the Earth is round.
Here's what 18 to 24-year-olds said when asked, do you believe the world is round or flat? 66% have always believed the Earth is round, yippee. 9% always thought the world was round, but more recently became skeptical. 5% always thought the world was flat, but more recently had doubts. Good for them. 4% always believe the world is flat.
And apparently young millennials are behind the push. It comes as this man tried to launch himself into space on a homemade rocket to prove the theory. He just tested that rocket not long ago. I remember the day we brought this to you.
Yeah, well, when people tell the youth to fight the power, they don't mean Copernicus, right? I mean, there's some things that we can look at here and all understand that we're on the same page. But I would say that people should have a better understanding of why it is they believe what they believe. Because, for example, okay, we can all agree the Earth is round, but you ask people about climate change, and they'll just say, because all, the answer really is because all the smart people say so. And that should never be your baseline of why you think something is or is not true. I did not think I'd get applause for that, by the way. That was nice.
So Buck just said the Earth is flat. That is freaking me out. All right, Cat.
Encouraging skepticism about what you've been
92 minutes, as it says on the book, around and around, it says on the book, around and around, around and around, and that really starts to seep into you, the fact that we're all around and around this together.
You don't see the same shot over and over again because your orbit changes.
Yeah, our orbit stays fixed. It's sort of like a ball and a string. 92 minutes, as it says on the book, around and around, sort of like a ball and a string. So the seasons changed on the world view.
And it was
not just the narcissism, but the rest of the world, and that was really revealing to me.
Can you see, when you're in outer space, can you see like
camera does, so you can pick out the Statue of Liberty if it's lit up
and
out
how
there.
many thousands of feet, tens of thousands of feet are you?
We're about 1.3 million feet up. 92 minutes, as it says on the book, around and around.
1.3 million, thank you.
About whatever, 270 miles up or something like that, depends.
Yes. America section.
What the world looks like from the air, and we crossed it thousands of times.
It's 92 minutes. That could give us just 92 minutes of what it looks like and what you could see from your eye.
We have 92 minutes, as it says on the book, around and around Amazon also.
Would it be possible to, I mean, do we have a camera? It's 92 minutes. That could give us just 92 minutes of what it looks like.
To take pictures of it. It's just flat and gorgeous to see. Huge, vast expanse. The movie, if you want to get some feel of what it's like, that movie shows it the best.
Oh, wow.
Well, Colonel Hadfield.
So lucky.
Very exciting. I've read your stuff, and
The world is flat.
You pay attention. At the same time, there are studies from 50, 60, 70 years ago that were hidden jewels that all of a sudden now are popping up.
The world is flat, right?
At the same time, there are studies from 50, 60, 70 years ago that were hidden jewels that all of a sudden now are popping up and literally being transforming what we're doing.
Years because the world is flat.
When we were
because the world is flat.
Experiments that had, quote, been buried. I think that's a great place to start.
This is one of the coolest studies I've ever heard of. It was in the 1950s. This woman named Rhonda Ruth Lunsford published her only paper in science, and she was actually kicked out. She took an old rat and a young rat, and she tied their skin together.
Years because the world is flat.
It's like we feel very confident going forward, but that they were literally the number three who 30,000 remains flat. But when we now that we see, I think, in a very real sense, they flattened the curve, and today,
happened. It'll, I think, really tremendous people that do the work, smart people, great people, people that, and I think, and heavy, and now it's controlled. I knew it was come out of this. At a level that's asked for it, and we're sending it. So I feel good. I feel good.
The Apollo Extravehicular Mobility Unit. The system is one of several spacesuit designs being developed for the needs of...
Baby over there!
Ocean, those connect up and stay back down. Why would they do this? The airline companies control this problem.
Yeah, I wouldn't even worry about it. People are in love with that ball.
My new national strategy space recognized.
And I've got a secret. I realize it's a radical thing to say to somebody.
Kind of is.
It's possible that the world is flat. I realize it's a radical thing to say to somebody.
Kind of is.
I think it's true. Actually possible that the world is flat. They're flat. What is it? They yell at each other all the time.
No.
And if I were in conversation with that person, I hope I would say, world is flat. They're flat. What's to the top part? But underneath, what can change me for the better? I should always look to be changed for the better.
The need for it to kill it.
Flatter. World is flat.
Flattered.
World is flat.
So flat.
World is flat.
Mr. Chief Justice, and may it please the court. And what then is the nature of government? When it has no fear of accountability.
World is flat.
Flattered. So flat. Flattered.
World is flat.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I mean, empirically, I agree.
World is flat.
with that.
Yeah, that's your experience.
Yeah, oh, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
And
full flatter.
Now, in this, do you know about the mirror exercise?
I read about it, so
okay, so I'll explain to those who don't know.
I want to use a familiar illustration to show in what way we ignore. Identify with the cup. When you look at the two faces, you identify with the profile. So in the same way, when we experience the world around us, we identify with the subject, the knower. We don't identify with what we see. But as a matter of fact, if there is nothing seen, there is no experience of a seer. If there is no seer, there is no experience of anything seen. They both go together in the same way as the black and the white. And this idea that the yes and the no, the black and the white, the inside of a class, say we draw a square as representing fundamentally the idea of class. I can't have a square which doesn't have both inside and outside. They go together. And in Buddhism, this going together is called shunya. Although this is often translated void, it means that the inside of the square cannot exist, is void without the outside, the subject without the object, the black without the white. And this, of course, is represented in this fundamental Chinese figure of the yang, or the positive principle, and the yin, or the negative principle, like two fishes, constantly circulating, going round and round and round and round in the alternations of life. Now, the question is, are these two fishes involved in a fight? Is the white one eating up the black one, and the black one trying to eat up the white one? If that is the situation, then, of course, life is fundamentally nothing but a grim contest. If this one up here is the good fellow, and this one is the bad fellow, if this is order and this is chaos, then a fight goes on between them. And that's largely the way in which our technology has interpreted man's situation as against nature. This is man, the white, the good fellow. This is nature, the dark, the bad fellow. And the white one has got to eat him up. But what happens if the white fish succeeds in eating up the dark fish? The white fish disappears as well as the dark one, because the white one is only there in relation to the dark. So then, if these two fishes, as it were, wake up, if this one wakes up and this one wakes up, which is called awakening in Buddhism, they realize they're one. In other words, they go together. They're inseparable from each other. And this realization is that experience, which is called in Zen Satori, or in Buddhism, Bodhi, awakening. This sudden dawning on our consciousness that life is not really a contest to make yes triumph over no, to make the positive triumph over the negative. The two sides go together. And then one sees, in this strange way, that underlying all that is negative in the world, all that is in a way painful and evil, there is a kind of necessity to it. It goes with the good. It is necessary for the good. Disorder is necessary for the manifestation of order, just as you must have, say, a black background to show up a light figure. And then when one sees that, a profound transformation takes place in one's attitude to the world. That is to say, instead of looking upon life as a contest, it becomes a dance, it becomes a game. One doesn't withdraw from it, one doesn't stop living, but one goes into the game so that these revolving fishes are no longer trying to eat each other, but they're just going around dancing, having the biggest fun in the world. So then, must we have fixed in our minds the idea that all the forms and patterns of nature are simply methods of attack or defense, that they're devices for camouflage, that they're simply lures for sexual attraction or other utilitarian purposes? Or can we see in them a dance, a joyous cosmology? people who believe that the Earth is flat cannot possibly be talked into seeing that it's round because they know it's flat. Because can't you see? So what you do is this. You say, let's go and look over the edge. Wouldn't that be fun? But you see, to be sure that we do get to the edge, we must be very careful not to walk in circles. So you perform a discipline. You go steadily and rigorously westwards along latitude 40 or something. And then when you get back to the place where you started, he is convinced that the world is at least cylindrical. Because what is altered is not the way your senses perceive. What is altered is what you think about it. Your definitions of what you see. Your evaluation of it. So when you don't cling to it, when you have no longer a hostile attitude to the world because you know the world is you, it is. I mean, let's take it from the point of view of biology. If I describe the behavior of a living organism, I cannot possibly describe that behavior without simultaneously describing the behavior of the environment. So that I discover that I don't describe organisms in environments, I describe a unified field of behavior called an organism environment. It's an awkward word, but there it is. The environment doesn't push the organism around. The organism doesn't push the environment around. They are two aspects or poles of the same process. And so you have to understand that this attitude towards nature, seeing the fundamental unity of the self which manifests it all, is not an attitude, as missionaries are apt to suppose, which denies the value of differentiation. You must understand the principle of what are called identical differences. Take a coin. The head side is a different side from the tail side, and yet the two are inseparable. Take the operation of buying and selling. Selling is a different operation from buying, but you can't buy unless somebody sells at the same time, and vice versa. This is what is meant by the underlying unity of opposites, what is called in Hinduism Advaita, or non-duality. Or when the Chinese use the word Tao to designate the way of operation of the positive and negative principles, the yang and the yin. It is not a unity that annihilates differences, but a unity which is manifested by the very differentiations that we perceive. Just as it's all polar. It's like the two poles of a magnet. Different, but yet one magnet.
Great points.
No.
No, Eddie.
Big
Eddie,
UFC this
you
weekend,
are
brother.
the ambassador of the Flat Earth Society.
We're on the record for the videotape deposition of Alex Jones.
Create the planet, and you will be there with GPS.
No. I'm not going to be there. Fuck no. We're going to get someone to represent me there. Okay?
All right, let's announce
no, we'll get
we're launching.
I'm not doing it.
No. We're launching the Discovery of Flat Earth Project.
So long ago, 6 years ago,
But I mean, there's anomalies all over the place, is what I'm saying. You've seen.
There have been a lot of people asking a lot of questions. It isn't illegal yet in this country.
Correct.
I'm going to make points because, Eddie, you've taught me a lot, and you're a really smart guy, an entrepreneur, and a badass. So I think it's healthy to be where you're at, questioning everything versus buying everything. All I'm telling you is the stuff we have now 100 years ago would be considered magic. And we humans can go way beyond
Yes, I
that.
agree with that. Fucking iPhones, are you
Dude,
kidding
I
me?
know people that I was there when they
iPhones
were
are the
dying at
best.
the hospital. And
That
I'm
has
like,
nothing to do
they were
with
like top
space,
NASA
though.
scientists on the main line in the videos running NASA. And I'm like, were we there? Yes, I ran the RCA cameras.
Definition of staged. I don't care what staged means. I'm asking, did you
I don't have it in front of me, but I did say that I saw a lot of anomalies that how do we know more weren't arriving later and that there's other porta potties being delivered? I'm not saying that's what happened. You just show me one still off something and tell me tell me to answer questions.
They dolled him up, but we wouldn't have done that. I freaking know what happened.
That makes
noon, is like 10 chest x-rays, right?
Yeah,
You know what airline
flying is
pilots are all
terrible
fried.
for you.
Notice all the
I thought it was only one.
Notice how it's more. Notice how the
God.
international flights are all now at night.
Why is that?
Because there's freaking no radiation, dude.
Because you go to sleep, it's a red eye.
No.
Solar radiation.
Yes.
Yeah, and now that we have a U.S. Navy missile instructor and many other experts confirming that the Earth is a flat and motionless plane,
You're being
totally
sarcastic. That's a prank call. That's an ad hominem thing where there's seminar calls on that where you call in And then you say, oh, you're so accurate, you know, and then they add something like the Earth's flat. It's a standard tactic. It's like when, when Al Gore's before Congress and they say, you know, the truth is the Earth's been cooling for a few years. And he goes, yes, and you think no one went to the moon. And I'll be on national shows. They'll go, no one went to the moon, right, Alex? And I'm like, no, we went to the moon. They just put out some bad PR photos because the radiation damaged the film. They doctored them. And they didn't admit it to people. Let's go to... I don't believe the Earth is flat, but if the mainstream media started saying it was round, I might question them. I mean, that's how deceptive these people are, that you really can't believe anything they say. They taint, they twist, they spin.
And come out the other side where people walk upside down. Oh, but that's silly. Nobody... Oh! What if I should fall right through the center of the earth?
And come out the other side where people walk upside down. Oh, but that's silly.
Would benefit the globe makers, I guess, the globe barons. But it just seems crazy to me because how many people you would have to keep that conspiracy going? Because you fly to China, you didn't get to an edge.
Yeah, you didn't. You didn't get to the edge, and you sent astronauts with. Then they did pictures, and they showed a globe. So this is a big conspiracy, Tyrus.
Some flat earthers actually believe astronauts are just actors, part of a huge conspiracy going back to those very first steps on the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
You don't believe that they've gone to space?
No, not at all. The rockets go up, sure. There's nobody in them.
This is what happens when you answer text questions with selfies. That's exactly what this is. They didn't read this. Is the Earth? Yes. Like, this is the problem with, they just say things.
How much easier it would be to throw stuff away.
Push it over the side.
Yeah.
Flat Earth was accepted.
Think life would be easier if the world was flat, and here's why. Think about how much easier it would be to throw stuff away.
Push it over the side.
Yeah. Just walk over, drop it off the edge.
You live at the edge.
No, but you know what? It's like because the Earth is round, you can never really throw anything away. It goes in the Earth.
We could
Also,
rocket
by the
it
way,
into space.
Yeah, but then it just gets into this orbit.
And we'd be a lot smaller for the purposes of asteroids hitting us. Think about it that way,
yes.
right? A lot thinner.
You know what? I'm so sick of you and your edge privilege.
For more, let's check in with a young millennial for a comment.
I looked at it as much as I could. It is round.
Well, that Earth was flat. All right. I compiled a bunch of facts that prove the Earth is round because I had to. Because I couldn't remember how you prove it.
But in a world of disagreements large and small, for something as clear as this horizon, the interpretation could be infinite.
You don't think that you're going to accept a chip in your brain that's going to let you see the future? Right. That's ridiculous. You're going to take it. You're going to get that operation. Listen,
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
They're so stupid!
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore.
What a bunch of dumbasses. Yeah, really.
Why is everyone so fucking stupid?
The pressure difference between the inside of the plane and the outside.
Then you have a leak.
You are stupid. 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 And don't forget, you are stupid.
To today's show, I wanted to do a video of people and seeing their connection.
Boom, people. Okay, they're still using balloons. Above 70,000 feet, people. Here's the deal. If you can see this, this is the ISS. Okay?
Well, it's flat. Well, it's flat. Well, it's flat.
Boy, this is the life, isn't it?
Yeah. If you have to get sick, you sure can't beat the measles.
That's right.
No medicine.
Inside or out. Like shots, I mean.
Don't even mention shots. Yeah.
Measles?
We interrupt this program with breaking news. Childhood vaccination rates in Quahog have dropped to an all-time low. Few town is vaccinating their kids anymore. Do you even realize the harm you've caused?
Harm? What are you talking about? I'm making the world a better place.
Plan that NASA has is to build a rocket called SLS, which is a heavy lift rocket. It's something that is much bigger than what we have today, and it will be able to launch the Orion capsule with humans on board, as well as landers or other components to destinations beyond Earth orbit. Right now, we only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go. The moon, Mars, asteroids, there's a lot of destinations that we could go to.
Day of the month of September, in an early year of a decade not too long before our own, the human race suddenly...
Your ears and shake those bones!
We've all heard of Freemasonry and the supposedly hidden agenda its members have to achieve global domination
and lower pitch.
And so, the next time you hear things, it's sound waving at you. Bye-bye now.
This side?
Yep.
Oh.
You can hear the tapping through the bricks. Sound travels faster through bricks, too.
See how the spring squeezes together and then spreads apart? Well, the same thing. Sound travels in waves.
The television picture you're watching right now started out as a wave.
Take a look at this. We can count peaks to get the frequency. We can measure this distance to get the wavelength, or we can measure this distance.
Wow.
How does that make you feel?
Like I've been bamboozled and hoodwinked all this time.
I feel so bad.
So like nitrate, nitrite, metals. We test wastewater, drinking water, hazardous waste.
We only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go.
There were very few vibrations of any sort. Here's a picture of the INSAT.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
I think it's something to do with free will.
Would you please repeat that? Please repeat that.
What you have stolen from me.
Swallow this.
What is it?
Happy boy. Happy boy. Happy boy. Happy boy. Happy boy.
So they're moving around in little circles, but they're not moving that way along with the waves. The waves are going right through the water without carrying much water with them. Isn't that cool? That's just the way it is.
We've all heard of Freemasonry and the supposedly hidden agenda its members have to achieve global domination through a new world order, but how many of us really know anything substantial about the subject? I'm Mike with List 25, and from memberships to symbols, here are 25 curious facts about Freemasonry. From his Grandmaster to claim the moon as being in the territorial jurisdiction of the Grand Lodge of Texas. John Glenn was also a Mason. Most famous Freemasons include Charles Darwin, Mark Twain, Winston Churchill, J. Edgar Hoover, Benjamin Franklin, and the first president and founding father of our country, George Washington. 4. Enemy soldiers who recognized each other as Freemasons helped each other and saved each other's lives. Even during war, these Freemasons' loyalty to the craft did not fade. Not to testify truthfully when another Mason is on trial. They admit that it may be perjury, but to them, it's a far greater sin to not protect one of their own. True of liberty. Friedrich Bartholdy, the man who designed the famous statue, was a Mason.
Bleep, bloop, blorp, I am a robot too.
Our society is run by insane people for insane objectives.
The fact that the planet is in the control of mad people. You know, people who are crazy, people who are greedy, all these people who... The world is flat after all, flat after all.
The earth is flat, flat, flat. They told me that we lived on a sphere.
Know about health. So you'd need to reprogram stuff so that you teach people about how to be healthy. That way, you don't spend so much money on disease. People would be healthier.
He knows nothing of the potential of the microchip or the silicon revolution.
Bird checks position by the sun compass. The glacier signals the South Pole itself. Here, Bird drops the flags of the United Nations, carefully boxed, a symbol of America's goodwill to all nations.
This expedition is going down to the South Pole area to make certain observations and to look for some bases. They will be back in April, and they will report back, and upon the information we get from that undertaking, we will base the bigger expedition that's to follow. Slightly frozen, center of an ocean 10,000 feet deep. The South Pole, the center of a plateau, 10,000 feet high. The North Polar Sea is surrounded by continents slightly frozen. The Antarctic continent is surrounded by a belt of ice, frozen seas of at least 1,200 miles thick. Now the south is a plateau. It gets in some places 14,000 feet up. I've been over areas about 13,000, and it's a little bit chilly up there. It's pretty cold. There's only one permanent resident, that's the emperor penguin. The little ones live further north.
Yeah, I started to question things like my own beliefs and my own existence. Like, how does this work? What is the truth? What do I know? Am I the body or am I the soul? If I was to die, where would I go? Do I even matter if this is how it goes? But when I woke up, you know what I realized? I am the soul, this body is just my vehicle. And with that awakening came so much more. Information about the system and how it works. Realize, there's realize and realize. Don't be surprised, we'll find the truth will deep inside. When I see the sky, the sun, the moon, they seem alive. No, no CGI. Realize, there's realize and realize. Don't be surprised, we'll find the truth will deep inside. When I see the sky, the sun, the moon, they seem alive.
It's like if someone told you the truth.
Like what? What could they say?
He says the earth is definitely flat.
You have to see it for yourself.
Yeah, I started to question things like my own beliefs and my own existence. Like, how does this work? What is the truth? What do I know? Am I the body or am I the soul? If I was to die, where would I go? Do I even matter if this is how it goes? But when I woke up, you know what I realized? I am the soul, this body is just my vehicle. And with that awakening came so much more. Information about the system and how it works. Realize, there's realize and realize. Don't be surprised, we'll find the truth will deep inside. When I see the sky, the sun, the moon, they seem alive. No, no CGI. Realize, there's realize and realize. Don't be surprised, we'll find the truth will deep inside. When I see the sky, the sun, the moon, they seem alive.
It's like if someone told you the truth.
Like what? What could they say?
He says the earth is definitely flat.
You have to see it for yourself.
Soul could be persuaded to believe all that I'm told. Perhaps I'm
everybody when it's time to rap. At one time, everybody thought the world was flat. Sounds like you, that was my intention. I paid dues, now dudes pay attention.
International Space Station in house shoes. Let's talk, so I'm trying to get a sense of the questions that I should be asking to the International Space Station. Wow.
So you can ask them about their workout regimens and how they actually work out in weightlessness. Oh, ask them also about how many sunrises and sunsets they see every day.
Houston, this is Station. I am ready for the event. Flying over, just flew over Australia and headed towards New Zealand right now.
I just came back from Australia.
Yeah, you probably had a different view than we have from up here.
I don't follow everybody when it's time to rap. At one time, everybody thought the world was flat.
I started out as a rapper, so I wish I could make my microphone do that.
Muscle atrophy and the changes in our bones.
Simple basics, right? So you on Earth.
On Earth.
So you on Earth.
On Earth. On Earth. On Earth. Earth.
People have to poop. You're like, it's important to poop.
I'll just say, as far as I know, I have no knowledge of those tests being done. But I can imagine that would present some unique opportunities. Sunrises and sunsets, it takes me an hour and a half to get around the planet once.
Wow.
The planet once.
Wow. 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 One strange rock. So I've heard of a thing called the overview effect. That when you go and you look back on the earth, it has a emotional and psychological and spiritual effect.
We wish that every human being could see with their eyes, not just pictures, but with their own eyes, what the Earth looked like from space. And I personally think it would change us as a species. It would change us and make us all realize that Earth is really a spaceship, and we're living on a spaceship with just a thin shell. My viewpoint, and there's no doubt about it. We're going around and round.
Thank you for this. Wow.
From the vacuum and darkness of space.
Wow. What is the shape of the space? What is the shape of the space? What is the shape of the space? What is the shape of the spaceship called? What is the shape of the space? What is the shape of the spaceship called? What is the shape of the spaceship called Earth?
It's pretty darn round from my viewpoint, and there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. We're going around and round.
Thank you for this. When.
No, that is fantastic. Thank you very much for your time.
No.
Just YouTube it.
Jermaine said it's got to be true.
Sure. I don't lie.
Layered, right?
No, the pressure hole itself, the thing that actually protects you by keeping your atmosphere in, it's about 1/10 of an inch thick.
That's not very thick.
It's not very thick. Got this really awful green paint on the inside. It's an anti-corrosion aircraft kind of thing for aluminum prep.
Okay, did we get to everything? We're all good? No. I think we got all the good ones, right? No. Shapeless Earth. Research flat Earth. Okay, I'm on it.
Okay, I'm out.
Okay, he's out. He's close to free.
Okay, I put a little roll in, took it right out. Right in your view, Jim. Okay, I rolled off, I'm rolling to the right now. Under my own influence. There goes it. Looks like a thermoplast, Jim. It is, yes.
The world is flat, isn't it? Yeah. Checks in the post.
Is the Earth round? No, of course not, you idiots. The Earth is the...
Our whole lives we spend looking at the horizon and it's flat. I mean, it's flat. That's all. That's what the horizon's supposed to look like. And you get up here to orbit, all of a sudden the Earth is curved.
1 o'clock. Intercepting in 3, 2.
Wars?
Not wars. Global struggles.
You guys like globes. Let's go, dudes.
This is the last question. And then we'll
think about it.
Но у нас действительно в некоторых регионах страны, там, где люди живут, в Сибири, вот в этом году, допустим, прошлой зимой, температура 2 недели держалась минус 50.
I will not terrorize your president with such low temperatures.
Но теперь...
Critter cam.
We spend looking at the horizon and it's flat. I mean, it's flat. That's all. That's what the horizon's supposed to look like.